Well, how's it going, everybody? It's your friend the Gunman here with some more good news of the day. Thank you for joining me. If this is your first time here, welcome. We're a happy community of like-minded souls that are committed to making a difference in the world and keeping your spirits up and your powder dry. And we kind of deliver a little bit of good news to you every single day. So thank you for checking in and joining us in this community and in our effort, because boy, the world needs it right about now. Now, I actually alternate these good news posts with little tips for life hacks, food hacks, trivia from around the world that I find inspiring and uplifting. But today I'm going to simplify, if I might. I'm going to get a little personal with you and give you some insight into me and what makes me different from, let's say, my brother Matthew. Now, there are a lot of things that make me different from Matt. You know, Matt is, we're identical twins. We technically split from the same cell. But whether or not you want to argue nurture versus nature, we are very, very different people. I tend to be a lot more intense than Matthew. Matthew's got a big old soft heart, and he wears it on his sleeve, and I admire that about him. I am very much an alpha. I've always been. I've been a driving force in both of our lives in a lot of ways, and some of that has been to my detriment, if not to Matthew's as well. It's just kind of the way I've been built. I'm a fairly intense person, admittedly so. And I'm working on that all the time. Every single day I do. And, I just wanted to point this out. I tend to kind of get lost in perhaps being too judgmental of other people, not enough of myself. I find if you've got enough time to judge other people and their actions and their thoughts and their words, then you have enough time to actually work on yourself. And I have to be reminded of that. But the other day, I was on a roll, as only I seem to be able to go, and I was just, it was like dominoes falling, and it was a slippery slope, and I was sitting there, and it seemed like I was having one of those days where everything was bothering me, especially what everybody around me was doing, what they were doing at the time, and I was being hypercritical, and really, as I always say, you get what you focus on. I was focusing on the negative, and that was where I was. But my wife actually called to my attention. I just said, well, that so-and-so does this and that and this and that and this and that, and I'm really going to have a talking to with them. And she said, honey, sometimes people just need a hug. And she kind of let that sit there. And I thought about that, and I thought, well, I know that there are a lot of times when I could just use a hug. When I'm blustering and I'm doing my thing, and you either come from love or fear. I realize that I'm kind of like overcompensating with, this fear, and it's manifesting as criticism and judgment and vitriol. And, on those days, be honest with you, if someone just kind of interrupted my pattern and gave me some love and just gave me a hug, everything would turn around. And I realized that I'm guilty of that maybe what I need to do more of is stop with the criticism, stop with the judgment, and be a little more free in my giving of hugs, metaphorically speaking, of course, than my criticisms. And I'm committed to doing that. So I just kind of want to, it's something that I learned in the last couple of days, something I'm going to apply, I'm committed to applying, and I just kind of wanted to kind of put it out there to you and think, honestly, as you're analyzing yourself today, do you find yourself going into those patterns as well? Because they do lead to unhappiness. I'm telling you, when I'm on that, is for some reason, my complaining about the actions of others doesn't make me feel any better about myself. It never does. But, maybe a little bit of patience will go a long way, a little bit of compassion, especially because we're going through these crazy times right now. Everybody is terrified of what they're seeing on mainstream media, and they don't know who to trust, and we've just been so shut down and manipulated for an entire year. This is the time that we need to be more compassionate than ever before, less judgmental, less divided and tribalized. And I do believe it starts with the individual. So I'm going to challenge you like I'm challenging myself. I'm not prescribing anything that I am not doing myself and I'm not challenging myself with. I want you to exercise more patience and realize that sometimes, especially when someone's acting badly or in a way that irks you, you know what? They just really need a hug. I know it sounds simplistic, but I don't know. I think there's a lot of wisdom to some of the most simple concepts. So on that note, I want your feedback. Let me know if it works for you. Let me know if it does something for you. More importantly, let me know if it makes you feel any better about yourself too, and helps you be a happier person. On that note, love you guys as always. Thank you so much for joining me again today, and I hope you get something from this. And I'll be back on my trivia tomorrow. Take care and God bless.